Helvetica, one of the world's most iconic typefaces, was originally called Neue Hesse Grotesk and designed in 1957. In 1960, it was renamed Helvetica, reflecting Switzerland's modern design influence. Inspired by accident grotesque, Helvetica became widely used for its clean, neutral style and tight spacings. Over the years, it evolved into Neue Helvetica in 1983. Max Miedinger, born in Zurich in 1910, began as a typesetter and then became a typographer before joining the Hesse Type Foundry. In 1957, he created Neue Hesse Grotesk, which was eventually known as Helvetica, a typeface that transformed modern typography. Even after its death in 1980, Helvetica is still one of the most prominent typefaces in design history. Helvetica has developed greatly since its creation in 1957. By the 1960s, Helvetica had dominated marketing and business logos, becoming one of the most widely used typefaces in history. With the growth of digital media, it changed to improve legibility on screen, resulting in motivation like Neue Helvetica and Helvetica Now. Helvetica is still widely used in graphic design today, demonstrating its everlasting influence.
As a sans serif typeface, Helvetica's general features are centered around the purpose of clarity and neutrality. This is demonstrated with its tall X height and horizontal or vertical lined terminations of the letters. The arcs and shoulders of the letters are rounded. As a Swiss-style font, Helvetica is structured around grid systems. It is classified as a neo-grotesque font, characterized by its consistency. Each stroke width, curve, and angle are consistent, as with the spaces between the letters, imitating order and rationality. Furthermore, the weights can be changed from ultra-light to black, highlighting the font's versatility. Although Helvetica is praised for being simple, it is also criticized for it, claiming that the simplicity makes it boring and unmemorable. This is largely due to its uniformity, lack of adornment, and subjective overuse. Because of this, the font is also criticized for being unable to connect with people emotionally, and thus in danger of promoting textual communication as monocultural. Lastly, because of its uniform design, Helvetica is criticized for making it hard for people to orient themselves when reading.
Helvetica's impact has been widespread both in popular culture and in the corporate world. The font's clean, simple, and orderly design make it an ideal choice for building branding and corporate identity, leading to millions of businesses choosing Helvetica for their wordmark logo designs. Examples of corporations that have incorporated the font into their branding include Jeep, Panasonic, McDonald's, Toyota, Microsoft, and the North Face. Jim Ford, a visual artist and designer for Monotype, a global typography and font design company, said, "After the 80s and 90s, Helvetica became synonymous with the term default, the font you get when you don't choose a font." He also said, "Even if you don't want Helvetica, you still need it." Terrence W., a Monotype senior type designer, said, "I've never loved or hated it, it's always just around doing its thing. Helvetica is trustworthy even if it doesn't excite you." The impact of Helvetica on pop culture has been similarly significant. The font is commonplace yet unassuming and has therefore had many different meanings across the 6 decades since its release. After its introduction in the late 1950s, Helvetica was initially embraced for its clean and modern aesthetic, or perfect spacing. Later in the 60s, it was dubbed the typeface of capitalism due to the multitude of corporations adopting it for their branding. This led to some backlash as public sentiment opposed corporations for their support of the Vietnam War. Today, Helvetica remains highly popular, further establishing its status as a standard of modern graphic design.